أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري واشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. For us, God suffices. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافينا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا الشر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من وليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت لك الشكر على ما عطيت نستغفرك اللهم من جميع الذنوب والخطايا ونتوب إليك. Oh Lord, guide us among those you guide. Grant us health and pardon among those you grant health and pardon. Look after us among those you look after. Grant us grace in what you have given us, and protect us from the evil of what you have ordained. For you decree, and none decrees against you, and none is abased whom you befriend, and none is exalted whom you are at enmity with. O our Lord, who is above all things sacred and exalted, all praise is yours for what you decree. We ask your forgiveness and turn to you in repentance. Amen. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Ramadan Mubarak. Inshallah, hope all is well. Today we will start a new section from the rays. It's the fourth ray, which is on page 70, and it's about Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. For us, God suffices, and that's something exciting to look into and really penetrate into its deeper meaning for what it means for our existence, and how can we be really, really super convinced in putting all of our hopes and human expectations in the creator of the universe, which is also the source of our existence. So inshallah, let's see what our friend Nursi has here for us. So inshallah, let's start. Bismillah. The fourth ray. While being the fifth flash in meaning and degree, in form and station, this forms the valuable fourth ray of the 31st letters, 31st flash. And it's an important and subtle point concerning the verse. For us, God suffices. For us, God suffices. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Note, unlike other works, the Risale-i Nur starts off in veiled manner and gradually unfolds. Especially the first degree of this treatise, in addition to being a most valuable truth, it is extremely subtle and profound. Peculiar to myself, it took the form of a significant discussion governed by the feelings, an animated conversation about belief. a secret discourse of the heart. It was healing for my various deep ills. Those who are completely in harmony and agreement with me may understand it. Otherwise, it will not be entirely appreciated. This is interesting how the author, mashallah, shares out every little details about what gets imparted onto him in terms of even with the organization of these valuable texts, alhamdulillah, that are available for us to benefit from. It's also how the Quranic message is also disseminated in such a way as well. We read a couple of verses and you're like, wait, what is it talking about now? The previous verse was talking about this, what happened? So it's really how, the clouds also come and go. So the same thing with our feelings, they come and go and then suddenly come back. So that's how the order is set up in the universe. And it's just comforting to know that's how our maker has designed us. We're not static beings. We're very dynamic. And just every moment is a new given existence, but it's very different from the previous moment. And so that's how we say that we are all subject to change. Everything in creation is subject to change. So just wanted to highlight that part. Okay. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. For us, God suffices, and He is the best disposer of affairs. This is from Quran, chapter 3, verse 173. Again, for us, God suffices, and He is the best disposer of affairs. One time, when I had been isolated from everything by the worldly, I was afflicted with 5 kinds of exile. I suffered too at that time of old age from 5 illnesses arising in part from my sorrows. Due to the heedlessness resulting from the distress, I looked not to the lights of the Risale-i Nur, which would have consoled and assisted me, but straight to my heart, and I sought my spirit. I saw that dominant in me were an overpowering desire for immortality. Dominant in me were an overpowering desire for immortality, an intense love of existence, a great yearning for life, together with an infinite impotence and endless want. It's interesting, our impotence is also infinite. It's not that if at a moment I feel comforted that I'm not impotent anymore. Now it's my position is such that I'm always in need to be given existence. But an awesome transience was extinguishing the immortality. Suffering that state of mind I exclaimed like the sorrowing poet. Let's read this little footnote. Let me see if I can catch it. This refers to Niazi al-Misri, 1218 to 1294 AD, a Sufi poet who was born in the province of Malatya in Turkey. He studied in Al-Azhar, hence the name al-Misri, wrote a diwan of poetry and other works, and taught in the religious schools of Istanbul for many years. So I exclaimed like the sorrowing poet. While my heart desires its immortality, reality wants the passing of my body. While my heart desires its immortality, reality wants the passing of my body. I'm afflicted with an incurable ill, which not even Luqman could cure. I bowed my head in despair. Suddenly, the verse, "For us God suffices, and He is the best disposer of affairs," came to my assistance, summoning me to read it with attention. So I recited it 500 times every day, writing briefly a part of the valuable lights which were unfolded to me in the form of the vision of certainty. And only 9 lights and degrees. I refer readers to the Risale-i Nur for the details known with absolute certainty rather than the former vision of certainty. The first degree of the luminous verse. For us, God suffices. Because of his shadow in my essential being of a manifestation of one of the names of the one of glory and perfection, who, possessing absolute perfection, is of himself and for no other reason worthy of love. I had an innate desire for immortality, directed not to my own immortality, but to the existence, perfection, and immortality of that absolutely perfect one. Farah, I see your hand is up. I'll take a pause and give you the opportunity to speak, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, I just had a clarifying question at this time. I was wondering that on the first page where it says that due to the heedlessness resulting from the distress, I threw the lights of the Risale-i Nur, but straight to my heart and I sought my spirit. So my question was that, can someone sort of like help highlight like how is the Risale-i Nur for this author separate from his heart and his spirit?
Very good pinpointing on this statement and reflection from the author. I'll just check in to see if anybody here in the group would like to share their insights into the question posed by Farah. So the piece that is highlighted on page 70, we're wondering about how come the author, Nursi, is sharing this part And Ali Murmur, go ahead, please.
Yeah, it is a good question for the language the author uses, because it looks as if it is self-propaganda, making an appreciation of himself, something like that. Because the presentation of the Risale-i Nur is his, under his authorship, he wrote them correct. When he said Risale-i Nur, he disowns it. What do I mean? I mean, it is not mine, or it is, or God is revealed. No, in this case. He always says that, look, it is not my talent that I am finding out all the things that are written in the collection of these books. It is just the imitation of the Quran, taking from the Quran the ideas and explaining with my own word, because all the virtues written in the Risale-i Nur or described in the Risale-i Nur doesn't belong to my own power of reasoning. It is just following the method taught in the Quran and rewriting it in my language appropriate to the capacity and the interest area of the present age people. So what he does, he says in other writings, intensely he repeats that these are not mine. Don't think that I'm a great philosopher or I'm an inventor of new ideas. These are just taken from the Quran. They're imitating the Quran. Imitating doesn't mean that I'm writing another Quran. No. The method the Quran presents to us, it is an essential method for us to pay attention. What does it mean, this method in the Quran? Of course, if we know how to read the Quran, we notice that we have to understand how the Quran itself presents its argument, bases its argument on what. Of course, it needs a little bit training. Just reading the translation of the Quran may provide you some glimpse of the message that the Quran is conveying to you. Of course, it is something to do with the Quran teaching, but at the same time, it is so shallow and almost superficial, very peripheral of the message. The real message that we have to pay attention how it presents the subject. The Quran is full of narrations and stories, and also descriptions of hell, paradise, threat, and also some sort of good news about paradise, encouraging people to believe and not to deny, not to be obstinate, this kind of things. But the argument is based on his methodology. So he says, Quran is his writings, just he imitates the method he uses. He pays attention how the subjects are dealt. So in this way, the Quran can cure our psychological troublesome problems. Of course, but the Quran says, I am the healing. Shifa'un wa rahmatun lil mu'minin. If you really understand what I'm saying, you will find the mercy, the really compassionate creator you have, and also a healing to your shortcomings, as he describes here. He says, I want immortality, but I cannot do anything about it. I cannot really satisfy my own needs, not because of the shortage of money or financial support or military power or scientific discoveries. No, it is just the feelings that I have. I want immortality. It means eternal existence. permanent existence and life permanently and at the best way. How can I satisfy it? Well, that they gave me the budget of the whole world. I'm still going to remain as transient. I am still going to age, become old, and at the end, inevitably, I will die. No one can stop me. The Quran presents that the person, if he realizes that God, who is the absolute being, and when somebody attaches his existence, his expectations to him, he understands that, of course, my creator is he, therefore he can give me, because he must be the creator of the universe, is my creator, he must be the one who satisfies me. So I must attribute my need to him, because he is my owner, so that all my despair of uh, shortcomings to fulfill immortality, which is the most essential need of human beings. I want to have a perfect life and with no end. That is how the Quran says, believe in me, as this expression here, the Quran presents us the expression, for us, God suffices. It means attributing my existence to God from my aspect, who is absolute in his being. He is enough for me. Nothing of whatever is created by him. So I will attribute my needs to him, so that he is the one who gave me this need, and he is the one who is going to satisfy it, because I realize that he is the best disposer of affairs. It means satisfies all human needs, spiritual needs. That's why when he says, I found the solution by referring to the Risale-i Nur, means the method the Risale-i Nur follows, obtained from the Quran. It is explanation, the Risale-i Nur explanation of the method of the Quran, and put it into practice in a language that you and I can easily understand. Explanation of the Quranic method. I think that's what I understood, and I understand it, because he keeps claiming that the Risale-i Nur is not the product of my own reasoning. That is important. The author says, I am not a philosopher, I am not a great scholar, but I am a very careful reader of the Quran. That's it. And taking everything from the Quran, explaining it as I understand, and it satisfied me, he says. You can go and read it, and you can, I'm saying, since we are human beings, we have the common feelings, common capacity, since we are human beings, we can share the same feelings. Go and study it and see if you really feel comfortable about your existence, about your expectation of the immortality. You can find it there, he says.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Ali, for this elaboration on what this text that we read from this author is really all about. It's, I think, the fruit of a careful study of the Quran and the Quranic message. So it's really an explanation of the method that is employed in the Quran for you and I to make sense of our existence with, so we can interact with the speech of the creator of the universe in a way that satisfies our need for desiring immortality. And let me just check in to see if there's anyone who has any comments. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Thank you. So the same line basically is, it caught my attention also about he says he didn't go to, let's say, normally if we have anything going on to get assistance, we go to the Quran. Mm. But here he's saying he went straight to his heart, to his feelings first. And I was wondering, it caught my attention. It's a little, maybe the author is trying to, put in a methodology as well here in terms of, hey, you need to consult your own feelings and don't discount them. Mm. So take them into consideration as well. That you have this need for immortality, you have this need for assistance. Mm. I mean, yes, we can go to the Quran and seek the healing, as that's all good, but it becomes more of a theoretical, more often, unless it's linked to our, our human side, to our feelings, and we really engage with it at a personal level, at an intimate kind of way. That how listen to my heart first, and then I consult and go and consult the scriptures, or vice versa. I can do that also, but I think it's a very heartfelt kind of take. As a human being, you would just first listen and go through the experience and really feel your desire and need, and then listen to it, and then you can consult the lights of the scriptures. Because I took the Risale-i Nur as more of the Quran or scriptures of where you can seek the guidance for your whatever you're going through in life. And of course, Badali kind of shared his in the comments that the Risale-i Nur is exactly what is derived from the understanding of the Quran and methodology. Just wanted to share those thoughts.
This is very valuable. Jazakallah khair, Asim. I'm glad you brought up this dimension, very important dimension of understanding this aspect of our reality as well. Because I think when we experience anything, like you said, listen to your heart. And people say that all the time. And, like, oh, but I'm perplexed. I still don't get it. How people say, no, you have to listen to your heart. I cannot listen it for you, right? So then, like you said, like after going through this experiential journey, then you reach out to these resources available, the speech of the creator of the universe and the text itself to solve our problems.
Like our heart and spirit. Yeah. He ties that in my heart, my spirit. So my human being side.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That includes your feelings, your senses.
Alhamdulillah.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. All right, just checking in to see if there's any other comments from anyone. I see Adam. Go ahead, please.
My question's pretty small. The end of the text before we stopped, it mentions this, I recited it 500 times a day, every day, writing briefly a part of the valuable lights which were unfolded to me in the form of the vision of certainty. In only 9 lights and degrees, I refer readers to the Risale-i Nur for the details known with absolute certainty rather than the former vision of certainty. So I am trying to understand what this means. So the vision of certainty what is the section we're going to read now, what he's describing as vision of certainty or absolute certainty, or what's the significance of this piece?
Jazakallah khair, Brother Adam, for bringing this point up. So, friends, we are on page 71. So the first paragraph that was pointed out has been highlighted on the screen. If someone can shed some light on how they understand, perhaps really I would say maybe the distinction between absolute certainty versus vision of certainty. What is the author referring to here? And yeah, what is all this in reference to? So please share your ideas and thoughts. And Adam, I see your hand up. I'm not sure if it's from before, but okay.
So I can, what I understand, he's looking at his feelings right now in this section more. So that gives a vision in terms of how when you listen to yourself, your being, your heart, although conclusion-wise, you can come with the absolute certainty, knowledge, yeah, there must be a creator, is a logical kind of conclusion, but here it's more experiential and engaging with directing your feelings to your Lord. I would say that would become something that is a vision of certainty, that you feel that presence within your being, that you belong to an absolute one. So that was how I took it, but I don't know if there's anybody else who would like to add to this or.
Sure. Thank you, Asim. Ali Marmer, go ahead, please.
Of course, my understanding, I cannot guarantee that it is the perfect one. Risale-i Nur gives us information, knowledge, not the information we understand nowadays. Let's say knowledge, transfer of knowledge. So that is just written there in the form of a knowledge. It means think in this way, learn in this way, benefit from your existence, your reality, the things out there, how they are really presenting their message to you. These are knowledge. Because I don't want to use the word information. Information is not enough word to transfer what I meant. Knowledge. That is ilm al-yaqin. It means the vision of knowledge. But when it comes to the fourth ray, where the author shares his feelings and uses this information in order to satisfy, answer his own feelings and let him experience within himself. That is vision of certainty. Look, I am really seeing it. I am really experiencing it, but in my feeling. So if conclusion is, which is not mentioned here, mentioned here, absolute certainty. Yeah. If you want to reach the absolute certainty, which means within your own being, you must feel, if you feel, of course, you must reach to the level that is for sure the truth for me, reality for me, that is the cure for me. I heal all my problems. I receive all my answers through expectations, through what I am experiencing here. When I apply, that is important. When I apply this information into my own feelings, now this fourth ray is going to give us a training of applying the information into one's own, if you like, spiritual experience of it within himself. That is the only way that human beings can reach absolute certainty. حق اليقين. Not ilm al-yaqin only, not ayn al-yaqin, seeing that somebody has been satisfied apparently and applying to yourself, but at the end reaching the absolute certainty, which this is the process that we follow, we are expected to follow, as the author says. But ilm al-yaqin, it means the certainty, certainty of, how do you say, certainty, vision of certainty. I see, knowledge of certainty, let's say. Ilm al-yaqin is treated in the Risale-i Nur, but I refer the readers to Risale-i Nur for the details known with absolute certainty rather than the former vision of certainty. Now, if you want to experience the vision of the absolute certainty rather than the vision of certainty, which is you see that you seem to be satisfied with it, but if you really want to experience the absolute certainty, what are we expected to do now? He's preparing our minds and our feelings that whatever is discussed here, it shouldn't remain for you as an information. There is an author who says or claims that he applied this understanding to his needs, and at the end he ended up saying that I am satisfied with it fully. That is, again, remains something out there, not within your own experience. What we are expected to do, we have to put ourselves into the same process and really experience it within ourselves. That's why we have to concentrate on, do I really need immortality? Do I? How? Check yourself. Pay attention to it. Unfortunately, nowadays, everybody says, I'm going to let me write down all what I need. It is nothing but a shopping list. Maybe somebody is doing shopping now, guessing, so he knows. So, shopping list. Going through the shopping list, which means I need this one, I need this one, I need the vegetable, I need such and such, for example. These are shopping lists that we really do nowadays, concentrate on. That's why we don't really know what the certainty is. So absolute certainty or the vision of certainty, what are you talking about? You know, if you have money, you are sure that you can buy anything you want. What else do you want? This is the world we are used to living in, this civilization, or the worldwide civilization. It is so horrible to me. It is not human at all. It is just dealing oneself as an, I'm sorry to use this language, but animal. Animal also thinks of his needs in terms of his bodily needs, what he has to prepare for it is food, and goes and searches for it, and he has to look for a nest to stay, and he doesn't need a car because he flies already, doesn't need the car or any transportation. So he doesn't miss his mother, father, or not, so that he will have a telephone. They communicate with each other by singing. They are the happiest creatures in this world as much as their needs are concerned. But human beings are? No, not like an animal. We have a sense of immortality, but immortality of what? Not only immortality of my body, all the immortal, non-ending satisfaction of my feelings, which need to be satisfied immortally, if you like, if there is such a word. It means with no end. I want an infinite satisfaction for my anything I feel as a human being. For example, I want to feel perfectly satisfied in my reasoning. And for example, I want to be satisfied in my love of, for example, pleasure, taste, beauty, my companionship with my friends. I want to be fully satisfied with whatever my feelings requires. For example, the best of everything I want to have, but with no end. That is human feelings. How are we going to make it real for us? First of all, we have to sit and question what I need. Write it down, but don't turn it into a shopping list, please. That is what they do. I'm going to go on Amazon.com and I'm going to order this. Oh, I've seen a new fashion, for example, shirt came out. I want one of them. These are my needs now. And also I need security, of course. What is security? Social security or insurance of something. So I have to go and ask for an insurance company if they can insure my properties just in case. But no one can insure your properties, your life, your existence, just in case you die anytime. That is the main problem. Don't reduce it to just for the temporary life conditions, but look for the list of your needs and then say, how can I satisfy these needs? Then you find yourself in the same process as the author of this fourth rate says, I went through this journey, immortal existence, immortal life. So yearning for how do you say, desire for immortality. So how can I satisfy it? So he says, as far as the relationship between the reality of this world and his reality of expectations, he says, I found myself in fivefold exile. I am in exile. Exile from infinite or permanent existence, exile from permanent life, exile from permanent satisfaction of feelings, exile from all the things that I love, they are leaving me. This connection, I know that I'm going to lose all of the things that I love. But of course, my body, simple example, my body needs the fruit to eat, beautiful or very delicious food to eat for my iftar. That's my body. But my feeling says this delicious feeling, delicious taste must remain with me, satisfying me eternally with no end. So that I'm renewing it, and also I shouldn't get bored of it. It must continuously renew it. That is how, as far as I understand, that this yaqeen, degrees of yaqeen, is to be taken into account, not in the form of knowledge, not in the form of that I am seeing somebody is really learning from here, somebody is really going through certain spiritual experiences, that is how I found the satisfaction. Or this author is a great man, He found satisfaction in himself. Okay, it is good for him, not for you. For me, I have to internalize it. I have to put into my own life experience, living experiences, so that I have to feel the same certainty, so that it will be a absolute certainty for me. That is what I found satisfaction. There is no other way around at all. You cannot find, it is impossible. The universe cannot satisfy me. That's I'm sure of. If someone says, the universe is, imagine this, God gave us, the one who created us, gave this ability to imagine. Imagine, universe is yours, okay? As you are. What are you going to do? Nothing. Can you insure the universe? Can you insure your life? Can you insure your existence? Because you have the all properties. Who is going to insure it? Of course, no one, nothing. This is what we have to reflect on it. Then it becomes, inshallah, with the will of Allah, if we ask him, he will let us experience this absolute certainty within my own existence. Try and see. You will start, if you just sit and ask the question, what do I need? Who can satisfy my need? Make a list of it. You cannot get to the end of it. Everybody must love me. There should be no war. There should be no harming. There should be no power exercise, or there's people, power hunger people, then shouldn't exercise their caprices, ambitions, endless, non-satisfying ambitions on me. They shouldn't stress me. I must be endless, with no limit, freedom, free from being subjugated to any transient thing. Only declaring my freedom in my connection with my absolute creator. I belong to him. He will take care of me. He gave me existence. That is a most precious price that we can get out of this reflection, inshallah. Impossible to forget the pleasure of it. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Ali. That was very thought-provoking comment from you. Yeah, it's all about making everything experiential, or really doing some inner work within oneself, and
listening to our feelings.
Exactly. It's a non-ending journey. It's just as long as you're in the school of the universe, there's always assignments to do. So am I doing my assignment? I think that's the question we should all be pondering over, on top of who is going to ensure my life here. And definitely the list keeps going and going with all the needs that I have and I'm given. And so the biggest question still remains, do I really need immortality? Inshallah, maybe I'll reflect on that and get some light imparted onto our spirit, inshallah, so the heart can be satisfied. Let me check in to see if there's anyone here who wants to add anything or make a comment. Alrighty, so we can then move on to the first degree of the luminous verse. For us, God suffices. Because of a shadow in my essential being, of a manifestation of one of the names of the one of glory and perfection, who, possessing absolute perfection, is of himself, and for no other reason worthy of love, I had an innate desire for immortality, directed not to my own immortality, but to the existence, perfection, and immortality of that absolutely perfect one. However, due to heedlessness, that innate love had lost its way, become attached to the shadow, and enamored of the mirror of immortality. That's a good point.
Interesting.
Then the verse. For us, God suffices, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Raised the veil. I saw and felt and experienced at the degree of absolute certainty. Hakul Yakin. That the pleasure and happiness of my immortality lay exactly and in more perfect form in the immortality of the enduring one of perfection. In affirming my sustainer and God, in believing in Him and submitting to Him. I saw and felt and experienced at the degree of absolute certainty that the pleasure and happiness of my immortality lay exactly and in more perfect form in the immortality of the enduring one of perfection, in affirming my sustainer and God, in believing in Him and submitting to Him. For an undying truth was realized through His immortality.
What is that? His immortality.
For an undying truth was realized through His immortality, as in the source of my existence is an infinite source, endless source. And with realizing that, it unfolds meanings about, it unfolds layers of meanings about my existence and or what my existence points to, in other words. But we should definitely visit this again. The insight of belief established that my essential being is the shadow of a divine name. Interesting. Which is both enduring and eternal. It talks about shadow here, like, however, due to the heedlessness, that innate love had lost its way, become attached to the shadow. So shadow, I understand, are like the qualities manifested, right? So rather than it being attached to the qualities, I'm attaching to the source of existence of these qualities. That's what I must attach to.
Rather than to the manifested.
Yeah, but here, so at the end now, he's mentioning that my essential being is the shadow of a divine name, which is both enduring and eternal. How can my being, which is essentially a shadow, be enduring and eternal?
So rather than directing to my shadow, I have to direct it to the one, the actual being.
Only then.
Of which that is the shadow of.
Okay. Oh yeah, I
by
get it.
the feeling of immortality within me, instead of focusing on that, I'm focusing on the immortality of the absolute one, the enduring one. So that's what I think is the point in this paragraph, but we can drill down on what does that mean actually?
So you're saying that through desiring my immortality, I get to know or I get to realize the immortality of the source of my existence. And when that connection or
So in the middle, he said, right?
realization is done, then it the rest follows along or makes sense. But go ahead.
In the middle of the paragraph, and he says that innate love had lost its way, become attached to the shadow, and enamored of the mirror of immortality. The mirror of immortality. So we start loving the mirror of immortality.
Wait. Due to heedlessness, so like if I'm not really connecting any qualities here or things, I say, hey, that innate love, obviously I'm lost, where I'm just like losing myself in the things itself.
The shadow itself,
yeah.
Or you get lost in the mirror. So
yeah.
Instead of loving the object, we love the mirror. You go and hug the mirror.
Yeah. I become attached to the shadow and enamored of the mirror of immortality. Enamored, what would that mean? What you were saying, something interesting.
To love it.
So I would love but that's wrong.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it's
to do that. Why would you love the mirror when you
immortality?
You love the true object that is being reflected in it. You don't love the shadow, you don't love the mirror, but you love the
yeah.
The true object.
Right. I think it's the wordings here because it's saying of the mirror of immortality. I'm like, yay, immortality, right? Hashtag immortality. Yeah. That's what I'm seeking. But that's the wrong way of seeking it, or yeah, it is. Okay. So alhamdulillah, let me see if anybody has any sharings here. Anything they wanna add or maybe express out as well. Ali Murmur, go ahead, please. Thank you.
I was waiting for others, also my friends there, to share it. The analogy is beautiful. If we understand that we are given existence by an absolute source of existence. This analogy, this is an analogy. Of course, this is not exactly the same. We should realize that we are the shadow of a real existent one. That is an analogy. Because in this world, shadow shows the outline of the being, the real object out there. So it is not in this outline of the being, real being, but shadow is reflecting his qualities in me, but not a, of course, this reflection doesn't have an external reality. The reflection in the mirror doesn't have an external reality. It is just a reflection. It is not the real object. So if you liken this, I mean, use this analogy or the mirror analogy or a shadow analogy, if we understand that we are the reflection of the absolute being, the qualities of the absolute being manifested in our existence, but we don't have an external existence like the absolute being has an external existence. We can easily understand that our existence depends on what? The existence of the real object. I am a shadow of that object. I am the reflection of that object. So if I understand my reality that I am created, so my reality lies in what? The realizing the source of existence of my life, my being, is absolute. So as long as he exists, no, as long as the real object exists, shadow exists. If there is no real object, there is no shadow. If there was no real object, there is no reflection in the mirror. These are analogies. So it depends on how much we are in realization, how much we realize that we are the created beings, needy to be created, needy to be given all these qualities. That means we are dependent on something that gives all the needs to us. So he's saying that, look, if you realize the source of existence of this needs, human needs, is the absolute being who gave existence to the universe, and therefore he gave existence to you. As long as he exists, your existence will depend on his existence. So if he is permanent, if he is absolute, so your existence will be in the form of a reflection, in the form of a shadow, in you, as we are now, as we are now. Of course, shadow doesn't have life, but we are given the qualities of our Creator reflected in us, and as a created, reflected form of these qualities that we are experiencing it. This is called a very interesting word, actually, or expression, idiom. It's not an idiom, but expression used here, inside of belief, which is the translation of, I don't think it is a worse translation, but at the same time, it is not the best translation. As far as I can see, I can realize this, which is the translation of the word shu'ur imani. It means one will really, I think it is the translation of shu'ur imani, if I am not right, because I looked for the translation of shu'ur imani, or original word. Shu'ur means belief. Imani means related to belief. How you describe your existence? If you simply, very simply, like everybody else, with no, of course, certain prejudice, bias understanding that I don't have a creator. I mean, that is something not human, but some people may claim it. But most of the people said that, yeah, I have been given existence. I have been given life. I have been given all the qualities that I can see in myself. So we are all dependent beings. If you realize that I am a dependent being, if you really are aware of what it really means, it means conscious of that conclusion. I am created. I am given existence by the one who gave existence to the universe. That is Iman. But being conscious of that Iman means what is the consequences of this realization as far as my expectations are concerned. It means my need, in general term used here, immortality of all my senses, everything that I love, I want. So if I realize my reality and attach my reality to my belief conclusion that I am created by the creator of the universe, if I combine them, it becomes consciousness of one's belief in the absolute being. That is the way that we are going to experience here. Not in the fourth ray, we are not going to study the belief side of it, but becoming aware of the consequences of this belief within my own practical living conditions, in my own life, in my own spiritual world, if you like, in my own feelings. That is what we are going to experience here if we don't, of course, one condition, this is what author felt. No, this is for me. That is what I should feel as well by internalizing this experience and turning into my own reality. Do I have the same feeling? Do I have the same need? Do I have do I seek and yearn for the same satisfaction? Really concentrate on it. I think we are interested in learning many things, but one fundamental thing is missing in our life, in my life. We are not interested in who we are. Who we are. We are learning how chemical reactions happen. We are trying to learn how some experiments found out something. We are yearning, really trying to spend years and years how society works, how economy works. I don't know how the things grow. Okay. In order to become an engineer or in order to become an, I don't know, architect, I spent 20 years in order to become a doctor. I spent 30 years, all my life goes there. So I become a specialized doctor. I'm interested in becoming a doctor. Do I have time to just question who I am? What am I doing in this world? I have no time for it. Yes? I come from work, have my dinner, and get involved in the news or something else, with a video, I don't know, some YouTube entertainments, etc., or some sort of external knowledge, how these people really analyze the verses of, if I'm interested in religious subject, verses of this Quran, how they translated this verse, etc., but never coming to my own reality. That's why I realize nowadays, I just want to experience my own reality. Somebody else's knowledge, I have to use it for me. But if knowledge really answers the purpose of my existence, that is why I feel that we never have the insight of belief, experience in me. I don't know whether I am a shadow, I am a dependent being, I am a reflection of the qualities of the absolute being, and just in the manifested form, of course, according to the capacity of the mirror, or according to the capacity of my own physical being and physical experiences, as a dependent created being. How can I really go through the journey of departing from my reality and the destination coming to the realization of the absolute source that I belong to him. His existence, the real object, now in the analogy, the existence of the real object guarantees my existence, if you like. That is how the process works, in order to have this absolute certainty within ourselves. So,
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This was a very beautiful comment and explanation of the analogy. Definitely it makes more sense. And yeah, I'm just going to repeat what you said, where this whole journey of recognizing my reality from here on to getting to know and be certain about the existence of his reality, or me being the shadow of a real object. So that's the work, I think, inshallah, we should be working on. Thank you. Any comments from anyone?
Assalamu alaikum. Can I just ask a question about the desire of mortality, I feel it myself, and I think all human beings have this desire. Do the rest of the creation have the same desire? And if so, do they live eternally as well? Just a question.
Walaikum Assalam, Brother Mahdi. Good to see you here. So the question is, as human beings, we have this desire of wanting immortality. And so I wonder, how about the rest of the creation around me? Do they also desire immortality? So inshallah, I hope that's the question. So if anyone can help us out here, feel free to share your thoughts and ideas. Brother Mahdi, I hope this was the question. If not, then you can correct it. I mean, that's what I understood, right?
Yeah, that's what I said, yes.
Okay, thank you. This is while people are thinking, Ali Murmur, go ahead, please.
So please, you go ahead first.
Okay, so I think this question was asked earlier this morning as well in the discussion about the 10th word on resurrection. I think one of the participants did ask about consciousness, how about the other creatures around me or creation? Are they conscious as well? And I mean, for me, I'm relating it to that. So I think first and foremost, I should be concerned about my existence and my responsibility, that I'm aware of my existence and things around me. So I definitely desire mortality and something else. I don't know what it's.
I can observe that the cat also wants to preserve its life. It wants to live. I can see that. The birds also, they want to, none of the animals I see, they want to die.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you try to catch them.
They do show that.
Yeah, you try to catch them and they're like, yo.
Yeah, but yeah, so they also, I can conclude that they definitely show signs that they also have this sense, but it's also within me, that sense is also given to me, that I also, if I feel danger, I run, I try to prevent and get into a safe position. So I experience the same, but as a human being, I'm sure that, based on the qualities that I have, the level of consciousness, the reasoning, intellect, which I can see that, some of them, they're just doing according to the way they are made into their environment, in their disposition. And as a human being, I have within my environment and with my level of humanness, I can explain and experience, but the thing I can see is I can refer that feeling, that feeling of immortality. I can question and wonder about it. I don't know about the cats or the other animal beings, but I can confirm that, hey, where is this feeling coming from? Where is it coming? And I can refer it back to the one who gives that feeling to me. I can relate it and see my createdness and show that, yeah, this feeling has been given to you, my Lord. So I hand it back to you to take care of.
Alhamdulillah, thank you for sharing your comments. It's really helpful to me, at least, where the rest of creation also shows this need of not wanting to die. And as far as I'm concerned, I say, yeah, this is what I notice, and that's the feeling I have within me. But then I wonder and I question more about this feeling, what can satisfy it and make that connection. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Jazakallah khair. And let's see what Ali Murmur has to say. Thank you for being patient. So let's hear from you.
Not much to say, because the essential things are said. In fact, the creation out there is an example for us. But the creation, the other beings out there, really, they may have their feelings. Yes, as mentioned by you and my Asam, that the other living beings try to run away from death. It means they want to preserve their life. as much as they can, but at the end they lie. But human capacity is impossible to compare them. Of course, there is a sign there. Other living beings also want to preserve their life. So if you go and look at the roots of the plants, they are created in such a way that they go to the wet area down under the soil so that they will get their nourishment in order to continue their life. Okay, but human need for immortality is incomparable with those needs, although exactly what a cat really feels is unknown to me. Do I have to know it? No. What am I going to learn? I have to take care of myself. I want immortality in my own feelings, full satisfaction in my own feelings. That's what I am responsible for. I'm not responsible for the cat, example, for the tree. Although there are signs there, but I don't know how they feel about it. But I am sure how I feel about it. I have to concentrate on myself rather than whether the stars really want, they have also the need for immortality. I don't know. They are dependent, sure, as far as I can see. Are they aware of it? I don't know what you mean by they. If you look at them, if you see, if one sees that, as far as I'm concerned, I can talk about this kind of subject. In my view, atom has no consciousness, but it is the way it is brought into existence, it is given existence, demonstrates in its existence consciousness of the source of their existence. It means somebody, a conscious being, is giving existence to the star. And this consciousness reflects in my understanding that this being continuously reflects his qualities in the existence of the star. I don't know how star feels it, none of my business. I have to take care of my business. I have to take care of my responsibility. All these arguments, whether animals feel really pain when they are slaughtered, or it's a temporary feeling or continuous feeling, of course I have to take care of it and concentrate on this kind of subject in order to adjust my relationship with them, my attitude towards them. Again, I am the center of my own existence. I am the center of all, my own existence. I have to consider my own problems. I don't think the source of my existence will say, then, yeah, I have, sorry, sir, I'm confused with something. Anyways, I am confused now. I was I think, receiving a message and laughing at it. So anyway, I have to concentrate on my own problems and understand what I need, because none of the creatures out there can represent my feeling, and I don't know whether they have such a feeling or not. My source of existence is not going to ask me that, hey, did you believe that the cats also wanted immortality as you wanted? I don't know. I don't know the cat's feeling. I never become a cat and experience the same thing. I don't know. But I see that he wants to eat, it wants to eat, it wants to protect his life. But from where I understand that life is precious. Every creature wants to preserve it. But as far as I'm concerned, how can I preserve my life? Of course, if I understand my life consists of only this worldly life, everybody wants to have a comfortable, satisfactory life conditions, and everybody wants not to die. But do they really look for immortality of their needs, human feelings? I have to take care of this for myself. Maybe share other people. Have you ever thought of what is your list of uh, needs? Huh? Let's talk about it and try to convey the message to other human beings. I don't think cats will receive the message from you. They have already received their full message from their creator. They don't need us. The other human beings do need to share our feelings as the author is sharing his feelings with us. So we have to concentrate. The bottom line is this: we have to concentrate on ourselves. We are not responsible for how the other creatures feel. I don't know. I'm not responsible for it. I can take lesson from it only and apply it to my own reality. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Ali. Thank you for the comment. I think this goes back to what Asim initially said, and I'm reflecting on listen to your heart at the end of the day. So yeah, we can talk about similar feelings. And so we can just share out our experiences and how we are solving or directing our feelings in the direction they ought to be directed. So I think that was a good reminder and comment.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking about in Brother Ali's comment, like when he was saying, go and sit down and think about your createdness. The thing is, basically, mostly when we think about the createdness, I'm not saying for myself, but usually it's about, okay, who we are, we think in terms of what the body is made of. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about, looking at what I'm made of. That's not the createdness really. And then even if we go to psychology says, look, there are these feelings, there are these chemicals and all these things within you, but still it's not really focusing on the createdness, which is actually linking or relating your being created to this absolute source. So I thought that wasn't why we don't really sit down and even if we sit down, hey, let me learn about myself, it's just for the worldly.
It's within the universe, not connecting
right,
it. Yeah,
like inner engineering, or what is the potential of a human being? How do you
unleash your potential?
Unleash your whatever the potential within you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so nobody wonders about the createdness part of where is it coming from? Is it that is a shadow, or is it is a manifestation of a quality?
It's like another
and
dimension.
It's given.
SubhanAllah.
Food for thought.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point, actually. It's like bringing another dimension to what I'm used to. Right? This is what is being offered out there, which is, I mean, not wrong. We do that, but that's not what is meant here as far as the Quranic teaching is concerned. So bringing in or going to another dimension, not of the nature of this universe, beyond this universe.
That insight of belief comes with my realizing my createdness.
Alhamdulillah. Yep. Jazakallah khair. Thank you. That was very refreshing. Alhamdulillah. Any comments from anyone? Anything they want to add or say? Okay. SubhanAllah, this was very enlightening, and I think we should stop here for today. It's 5:30. And so inshallah, next Saturday, we'll pick up from this paragraph. So the second last paragraph on page 72. We didn't cover this, right? Did we?
We kind of touched upon the inside of belief, but yeah, we'll go over it.
Okay, no problem. We can just brief intro. Alrighty. Jazakallah khair, everyone, for joining in and participating. Your valuable comments. Alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you are all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati